We are awake, we are alive, we are enthusiastic and ready to kick off another Lunch and Learn. Do me a huge favor, let me know where you're joining from in the comments below. Hello, party people. We are about ready to get kicked off. About 3 minutes. We're excited over here. Are you excited? Show your excitement in the comments below. Looks like we already have about 10 people joining us with 2 minutes left to go. Let me know where you're joining from. What is going on, party people? Hopefully you are doing well, staying safe and sound from the comfort of your living room or wherever you are at. Hello, good morning. Hope you're doing well. So let's see who is here with us. We have our friend Jim Summers. Look at him all camoed out. I have to assume this is from his recent trip down to, I believe it was Tennessee, photographing the bears. It was unbearable to be away. It's always punny. Always good to have you, buddy. Jen Stitt says, hey, TJ. Hey. Hello, Jen. Hope you're doing well. Who else do we have here? Mr. Robel. Hope you're doing well over there in Copley, Ohio. We got your stand on order. He was actually one of our contest winners, and he used it for a new stand for his awesome food photography. Dad Cooks Dinner on Instagram if you want to check him out. So let's get started. A couple announcements from Sigma. First and foremost, thank you, Sigma, and thank you, Brian, for helping us organize this. Let's get him here in the stream. How are you doing today, sir?
Good morning, or I guess, let's see, your time it's good afternoon.
Yes, 3 minutes.
I'm in northwest suburbs of Chicago, so I'm an hour behind you. But yes, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining in. A couple of quick words. One, just to let you know that Sigma is donating 5% of all the Sigma sales from Pixel to the Cleveland Food Bank. So just FYI, and that's, I believe that's until the end of June. And in addition, today through Friday, there is an additional rebate on top of the May rebates. So it's $50 off any lens that's $400 and up, which is a really great thing because you can now get the 150 to 600 for like $849, ridiculously cheap. Ridiculously inexpensive.
There you go. That's a better way to say it. I love it.
So FYI, and in addition, Pixel is running a weekly photo contest, as is Sigma. If you go to the www.sigmaphoto.com website, we are running a weekly photo contest with a theme, just like Sigma, or just like Pixel. The nicest thing about our contest is we do offer the top prize for the week is $500. So
that is awesome.
FYI. Also, one other thing to let you know, the other great thing about Pixel is they rent. So if you want to try a lens, a great way to test it is to rent one from Pixel. So just FYI. So thanks, TJ.
Yep, that website again is sigmaphoto.com/sigmashot@home. I'm showing it up here on the
thank you.
on the page. But if you just go to the Sigma website, they are you'll see the things about the two different options. So the 5% as well as the Sigma Shot at Home contest. So it's right there, front and center. Again, we appreciate Sigma for everything that you've done as far as helping us out with these live streams, but also putting together, the give back for the Cleveland Food Bank. That means the world that we can help local community. And someone actually took advantage. They were on the live stream yesterday and they took advantage of that extra $50 off already. So
great. Terrific.
So that's an awesome deal, and thank you again for that. So let's go ahead and get kicked off today. Let's bring our guest of honor, if you will, into the conversation. Hello, Mackenzie. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you? You guys look great too. We're doing good.
We're trying. Every day above ground's a good day. So we're rocking and rolling. Another day in paradise.
Yeah,
so tell
exactly.
us a little bit about you, where you're based out of, what kind of stuff you're into and what you want to chat about today.
Okay. McKenzie Deakins. I'm based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been shooting weddings for 15 years now. I know, it's a crazy ride. And I found, I'm a mom. I live, like I said, in the mountains with so many different types of backdrops to choose from red rocks to lavender fields to lakes and rivers and gorgeous waterfalls and mountains, pines, everything. So I'm grateful to be in this state as a photographer. I've loved it. And I'm a mom. I have 2 kids and 1 husband for now. Not just I am in Utah, right? But yeah, I love shooting weddings. So I specialize in weddings specifically. The reason is because, there's my website. I love weddings because everyone is happy. There's no reason to just not be happy on your wedding day. And, even the groom and like the angry dads are happy. So
yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then I never got into babies. They're just so ugh. But weddings are my jam. I love weddings, and I love traveling. I love being adventurous with my family. We've got a Jeep, so we just go crazy and
Jeep
just
club.
go.
Same here. My wife and I both have Jeeps. Love them.
Oh, do you? Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
We are all about that Jeep life. So when we were talking about different things that we could talk about today, you actually threw out a pretty interesting subject, and that's what kind of brought us into this is adventure elopement. So what is an adventure elopement? What is that?
Well, I'm pretty sure other people call it that, but I just started calling it because I've had a lot of elopement requests recently because of the coronavirus and how we've been limited with our group gatherings and whatnot. But people still are like, well, I still want to get married. What the heck? And specifically here in Utah, we, as the culture is Mormon, LDS, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Anyway, and so they have really quick engagements. And so you don't get engaged and then wait like a year and a half or whatever. It's like 3 months. So when they get married, they get canceled everything. It's like you've still got to get married so you can quarantine with that person. So it's been kind of hilarious because we've had quick engagements. Well, people for their summer weddings, like fall weddings, summer weddings, they're like, well, we can't be quarantined with our parents anymore. We need to get quarantined with our spouse. So I've had all my weddings just email me, are you busy this Saturday? Are you busy in like 4 days or whatever? So I've had just a crazy May so far because everyone just is like, we got to get married right now. And a lot of them are really adventurous because we live in Utah and we're just fun and crazy out here. And so I've had a lot of requests for really some funky elopements. And one specifically was, and it was crazy. Like that's why I wanted to talk to you about it today, because I've had so many people ask me, they're like, how did it go? And the reason is because I thought it was just normal elopement. She's like, oh, we're going to be in the mountains, and usually like these are mountains that are, you know, you park and it's right there. It's like a meadow. It's something like that. But with this one, like a couple days before, a week before, she's like, hey, just want to give you a heads up. Are you okay with like a 45-minute hike in? And I'm like, yeah, always the answer is yes. Right. Like, I mean, right. That's an adventure. I'm ready for an adventure. Little did I know it wasn't some little adventure walk in the woods.
So was it like super high up? Like, was it like,
well, and that's the thing. I just want to talk forever about this. It was so awful. So it was, and going back to your original question, an adventure elopement, I basically just coined the term because after she sent me that email about a 45-minute hike in, I'm like, okay, this isn't a normal elopement. This is an adventure elopement. So we are like working for this wedding, man. This is like hiking in, whatever, biking. It's not the normal elopement. It's not like meet me at this, whatever. Anyway, so I worked with a videographer that day, and I actually, going back, I spoke with the bride for like 45 minutes on the phone, talking about lighting. She was a huge avid hiker, went up and took pictures. And I asked her, I'm like, go up to the spot, take pictures at the exact same time that we're going to be shooting. So show me like, you know, video, total circumference and everything. They wanted to get married on this cliffside. And it was gorgeous. And I have some pictures I can show you. And so she takes this picture, and his feet are in the shade, and his body's in the sun, like with this of the groom. And anyway, so we had to work around that. And she's like, well, let's do it in the afternoon. And hello, we all know as photographers, we don't want to shoot this gorgeous elopement at high noon with right. And so I mentioned, I'm like, you know, golden hour, and then right after sunset, you know, that 15-20 minute mark right after sun goes down, that's our money making spot. And so we had to time it because the 45-minute hike was there. Then we had to figure out where to do the first look, because they wanted to do a first look not at the cliffside, because I'm not kidding, this cliffside was like 10 feet of space, and they had their 20 guests like up on the mountain, like perched on rocks, and everyone is in like nice outfits. Okay, they had hiked in their suits, in the shoes, and their heels up this mountainside. It was crazy. I was like, how the heck did you do that? I was in like my hiking boots, and it was rough. But anyway, and so going over the logistics with her beforehand was crucial. And that's what I want to just kind of shout out to everyone is if you can't get to that spot, have your bride or that, some scout get up there. I wish I would have gone, but then my husband's like, oh, we'll just go and hike it like 2 days before or something. And I'm like, that means I would have done that hike twice in 1 week. That's like rough, man. Like I'm gonna make her do the work. So, and she was fine to do that. She loved it. But if I had known maybe a month before or something, I would have gone and do it or done it myself. But anyway, and so working with a videographer I had worked with before, I knew his style and he kind of went a little bit slower and needed some more time. So I was kind of like a little aggressive and pushing him along. And the reason was because we took so much time on that first look, we were set back a little bit. And so there were 2 different routes to get up to the top of this cliffside. One was the route that was safer and the route that took more time, obviously, because it's not gonna, Anyway, so the groom was like, okay, we have 2 options. And he's like, we can go up the steep part and get there on time, or we can go up the longer route and maybe not have as much time, be pressed for time. Like, I instantly was like, no, we need to go up the steep part. We need to get up there. We need to get that nummy light when you're up on the mountain with the elopement, the sun and everything. Oh my goodness. And so I thought he meant like steep part, like steep section, but no.
Yeah. It was the whole thing.
Straight up the freaking mountain. Straight up the freaking mountain. I'm not even kidding. It was like, I had my backpack on with my camera gear and I'm holding some freaking heavy lenses, like the Sigma 105 1.4. Okay, you know how big that is, right? It's like this big. And then the 14 to 24 2.8. So that's a big beefy mother. And then I had like a 35 and the 24 to 70. So those are my 4 lenses I had chosen, and those were the ones, and I used every single one. But I'm carrying that thing on. Oh, I was covered in sweat, drenched. And I mean, like my knees have bruises on them from scaling this mountain. And I mean, like, I'm like fairly athletic. It's not like, I mean, I'm fine, but like I was dying. And the bride and groom in their suit and dress, just like, blah, 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 blah. They just like went right up to the top. And I'm like, and I heard him once, the groom at one point, he's like, oh, this is the steepest part. I'm like, no, the whole thing
is the steepest part.
Dang mountain. Sorry. And so anyway, I get up to the top and I'm like chugging water and I take my backpack off and I've never sweat down my back. And I keep in mind, now we have to be professional. So now I have to jump into professionalism and work. And so I get back down to the where the ceremony is. And I mean, we're smushed in this little spot, right? With like people all over. And I look to like my right and my left. I'm like, I'm just so sorry. I'm covered in sweat. And the woman next to me, she's like, I am too. We're all just like sweating our way up this mountain. It was so wild.
So like once you actually got up, I mean, then did everybody, like, was there a reception afterwards? Was it just there and then the end? Like,
no, yeah, it was just like
somewhere else for photos?
Yeah, we just, okay. I'm sorry. I kind of got off on a tangent and like let you hear my voice for a long time. But yeah, they basically just brought like a pieces of little cake. So someone brought up cake, someone brought up some sparkling cider, and so the bride and groom did a toast on the cliffside. They ate cake, and then basically we all just hiked down because we had to shoot until the sun went down, and then a little bit after, and so we all had to go down fast after that because it's dark.
It's gonna get dark, right?
So everyone's walking down. I mean, there was like a little river we had to cross. So this guy is like holding this light, and all of the guests, he's like, okay, step on that rock, step on that rock, step on that rock. And everyone in their heels across the stream. And I'm like, this is something I will never forget. This is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and now you like started showing some of this work. Like, is that like an actual like thing now for you? Like the elopements? Like,
well, yeah.
Photos, by the way, of this. I want to see this thing.
I know, right? Okay, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Cool. So as far as
while he's doing that, I wanted to reach out. If you have questions too about elopements or how this works, it looks like we already have a couple coming in. Put them in the chat, and I'll bring them up on the screen. So that way we can talk about and answer whatever questions that you have.
Okay, let me, okay, here we go. Okay, so this was like a picture of the walk up. So she wasn't wearing her wedding dress. She wore this kind of little kimono looking thing. And then this is just after their first look. So this is that spot where we did their first look. This isn't up the mountain yet. Then this is at sunset. So this is up on the side of the cliff of the mountain. You can see how crazy gorgeous that is. And then this was so scary. So right here on this left side, it's like just death, instant death. And I'm down here squatting. And I think I was blessed that day and this was their like elopement spot. So they sat there, and I'm using the 14 to 24. And this is all the way wide open to 14. And this is that amazing Sigma lens. It is juicy, this lens. 2.8 f-stop. It is, without this lens, I could not have photographed this elopement, period. I could not shoot this. So that's the same 14 to 24. This one was this 14 to 24. And this is the 105. I'm obsessed with the 105 and that dreamy, yummy bokeh. That's the same 105. I'm pretty far away, obviously. But I just shot this like 4 days ago. So I would show you more, but I haven't edited them yet.
So so you brought up, let's go through the lenses that you brought up again. So you brought the 24 and you're shooting on Nikon?
Yeah, I have the Z7.
Okay. So 14 to 24. The 105, huge, also huge. And then what were the other two that you brought?
The 35 millimeter, which is so near and dear to me. I love the Sigma 35. It's so good. And then I also have the Nikon 24 to 70. But that one I actually didn't use very much. I knew the focal lengths I needed, that 105 and the 14 to 24. Those were the ones that were like I was swapping out most of the time. But yeah, I can't even, oh my gosh.
And you're using the FTZ adapter for that? From Nikon adapter?
Yeah.
And with that, like, does the autofocus and everything? That's one question that we get a lot is,
really?
Can you tell a difference? Is that a good adapter? What are your thoughts on that? Does it work pretty well?
Yeah. It's a little bit like, dang, like that extra couple inches is kind of obnoxious a little bit. That's what I thought I would think, but the Sigma lenses are just so dang good that I'm like, I don't care. And I haven't had any autofocusing problems. I haven't had any, I've shot with this system for about a year and a half now, and I haven't had any problems. I've shot lots of weddings. So yeah, I haven't had any problems. Crisp, clear, gorgeous images, big fat enlargements. I've had brides enlarge just giant pictures, and they're crisp and yummy with these Sigma lenses. So I've had no problems that way.
Excellent. We did have a question, so let's jump into that question really quick. I like to get them when they come in. Do you think you were able to specialize in elopements due to your location? You're in a very scenic part of the U.S., and I could see couples would travel out to you more often than eloping here to Ohio.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am in an awesome spot. The funny thing is I had that same question to someone else in like California. I'm like, no one wants to come to Utah to get to elope, whatever.
So are yours more like people coming in, or are they local people eloping?
They're local people eloping, and I do get some that are eloping. So people don't come out here to elope. They go to like maybe Vegas. I don't know. I get a lot of locals that are like, I like, yeah.
100%.
Right? Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, Tahiti or something crazy like that. But I do have a lot of locals because they have a connection to that specific location in the wilderness. With the coronavirus and stuff that's happening right now, I feel like a lot of people are choosing to elope because they can't invite their 300 people or their however many. So just to like minimize on that pain that they share, to say like, oh, I can only have 20 or 50, or I don't know how everyone's state are adapting to this, but they are doing the elopements. And what I've noticed is I had an elopement that was in someone's backyard that was kind of like not my most favorite. And when I got there, and this is answering that question, when I got there, they had made some kind of an arch thing out of pipe that made it look kind of galvanized. Then they had hung white shower curtain over it. Okay, I'll just pause to like, interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. And then I saw that and I was like, okay, but if we turn this way, we'll be gorgeously backlit. Oh, P.S. There were like houses behind that spot. We'll be gorgeously backlit. We'll have this gorgeous tree in the background, all this brush, and then we just take that white shower curtain off. Then it's just a nice clean backdrop. Like the florals are still hanging around it, and then the bride and groom there. So that's like the moment when it goes from like kind of like an intermediate beginner photographer to like a professional, because you can become awkward in that moment and take charge and say, I know what will look better, but because I know best. I'm the professional photographer. I've been around and I know what will look best. They are just putting out here what's kind of like, I don't know, put it here. I don't know, put a sugar, whatever, whatever. And so I jumped in, and because it's an elopement, it's not a huge wedding. You can say, hey, it's just us. Like, can we just like grab this, take the shower curtain off and move it over here? Just real quick. It'll take a couple minutes and the pictures, I promise, will be so much better. So in response to that question, yeah, I have like these gorgeous mountains and scenic stuff, but there is something beautiful in every single state, something that's unique, something that's interesting, and simplistic even, some gorgeous meadow at sunset, something that's like farmland, something that's unique to you guys. And so that's the thing, is when someone's like, oh, but and this is what your clients would say, oh, well, I don't even know where to elope. Oh, I have no idea. And you're like, I have these great spots, this beautiful spot at sunset. All you have to do is just put up like not even put up anything. You don't even need anything, So taking charge as a photographer. So being the director and being that producer, that one that kind of says and creates that image for them. So stepping out of that awkward, socially awkward comfort zone and saying like, you don't actually know better than I do. I am the winner. So, so that's
one thing too, like when I did my consults, I was like, look, I get hired because of the customer service side and the fact that I will make sure that you have a stress-free wedding. I mean, that's what I sell to my brides. And so like, I've already groomed them way early on that I'm going to take control. I'm not going to be, pushy about it. I'm not going to, the show's not about me, but I will always go back to, remember, we talked about this, this is, and I've never had an issue or pushback. They want you to do that. They want the best photos. They don't know, this is new to them. It's their first wedding, or I mean, it could be their second, third, fourth, but this is a lot of times this is their first wedding. So they don't know. And you taking control, that's going to make them feel a little more at ease. Yeah. So as far as like taking control, I have two questions. Taking control, like, do you like, because it is smaller, do you find that it's easier to take control of those, of that environment right now? Like, you're not trying to wrangle cats. Is it a little bit easier now?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and I would never have changed a ceremony site ever unless it was an elopement. And then I actually asked them beforehand. I was like, I would love to lend my experience. Let me tell you how to do elopement, because but they didn't take me up on that. And so when I got there, I just took matters into my own hands. But yeah, as far as having it be a smaller group, like, it's totally easy. It's much easier to have that control that way. Was there another? Where was the other question?
My other question is, do you, like, I don't know, how are the laws out there as far as, because in my weekly news, my Friday Focus, I covered it, I think last week, where a photographer is facing 6 months in jail and like a $2,000 fine in New Jersey for photographing a backyard wedding, and there was only like 6 people there. So like, what are the restrictions, I guess, right now that you're experiencing out there?
Ooh, that's terrifying. Maybe New Jersey, yeah, because that's right there. So Utah hasn't been really, I mean, we've been obviously affected by the coronavirus, but our numbers have been fairly low. And we've only had like 70 something deaths, maybe something a little bit like more than that. But yeah, we never were actually on official lockdown. Our governor never said that we had to be locked down, and which was great, but everyone just did. We just stayed inside. We hunkered down and never left. So again, like, we never had that rule, which was great. And now we're at a low, I guess we're like at the low, what is it called? Anyway, we're at the end of, so we have a 50 group, so we could do 50 in a group. But again, like, so I was doing like little photo shoots even in the middle of the coronavirus, but I just stayed far back, like just like people I knew, a couple of them. Anyway, but yeah, so it's been pretty lenient out here. That kind of scares the crap out of me, like getting a ticket. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
That's why I wanted to make sure that people watching understood that the laws are different in every single state. Like our governor has us on lockdown, but you know, our camera store was deemed an essential business. So it's like every state is different. You know, I know that other states where they've had to close their doors completely. And so I just wanted to make sure that people realize that like she's not being irresponsible. You know, she's following the laws, but B, she's also going above and beyond, you know, as far as staying back and using that kind of common sense, you know, approach to it. So.
Yes. And that I was going to say the 105 1.4 has come in handy so many times because I was like, if I just use that lens, there's no way I could get closer.
Right. You can't even be that close.
Like, if I just made that as a rule, I'm like, if I just use this lens always, then I will never have a problem with being that close.
My Corona lens.
Corona lens. It really is. Oh my gosh, and it's so yummy.
Tell me, like, as far as like the marketing and as far as growing this section of your business, like, have you done anything different than you normally would? Are you still advertising weddings and then people say, hey, we're going to elope? Or are you actually putting some thought and push behind and sharing more elopements to kind of get people to say, hey, she has this experience with elopements, I want to go with her? So like, what is that marketing mix?
Well, it's kind of an accidental marketing moment. I shot a gorgeous wedding in Snowbird. It's a ski resort in Utah on a tram. So inside of a tram, it holds like 100 people. And it was just, and this is in February before like all this stuff happened. But we were in this small little tram going up the mountain, getting married. So they were eloped in the tram. It's amazing. And I Insta-storied the shenanigans out of it. Like I got like a lot of views there on my Insta stories because people love seeing the behind the scenes stuff. They love seeing real life fun stuff that's how was this picture taken, or where are you? What's going on? Like, I want to be a part of this, you know? In fact, like the groom in their wedding, the bride and groom in their car on the way up got stuck in a snow pile, and we had our Jeep. And so we pulled them out of this snow pile. It's the funniest picture because I have a picture of the groom like holding the tow rope in like a suit and like snow all over. Anyway, so it's stuff like that, like storytelling that you need to make sure that you're doing. I know it's like stressful and hard, but if you get your phone out and your Insta story along the way, you get more audience following you, and they're like, oh, I want to be a part of that story too. So I feel like that's how I've built a lot of my audience, is being very authentic and real with my friends and the people that follow me. I'm not going to pretend to be someone else. It's just like, this is how it is. We're just being crazy. And so I feel like they feel comfortable with me. They're like, oh, she's totally up for a good time. Let's go hike a mountain.
Right. And it's like, I want to hang out with her. I want her to shoot our wedding. They get that kind of what it's like to be right next to you. So this is actually an awesome transition point. So I want to bring up your Instagram profile. So obviously 21,000 followers. So you know what you're doing. So what are a couple tips that you could give to somebody that, you know, is just getting into Instagram, or maybe they're just starting out, where, you know, what would you tell yourself before you started Instagram?
So I have to say, I could talk forever about Instagram and social media and how to get your name out that way. I've loved Instagram and I hate it. The funny thing is, 21,000, right? I actually had 23,000 followers, but I've lost followers for a couple of reasons. Every time I post about same-sex weddings, I lose a couple hundred. And then every time I post like a picture of that's maybe not as cool and just boring, like I just lose a couple hundred or something. And then mainly I think I had a lot of maybe bots. So sometimes Instagram just cleans up people and then you just lose some 100 followers. Keeping your Instagram, there's a couple, like I said, I could talk forever, but what I loved about, there's the snowbird, right? Isn't that so fun? Oh my gosh, I love that day. It was so freaking cold though. Oh my gosh, at the top, I was like, and then, so keeping your Instagram clean. So you can see some very clean images up here. I took some flowers from a wedding and I went home and used my Sigma macro lens and just took some pictures using that just to clean up my Instagram feed. Because we take pictures of people a lot, your Instagram feed is, you need to think of it in sets of 3, 6, and 9. So if you have like someone looking at the camera and smiling, boom, 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 that's super boring. When someone looks at your profile, they want to look at something that's artistically put together and with a color scheme. So that's another thing, is I don't use a lot of like deep reds. I know we just looked in there, but my color scheme is like greens, whites, pinks, and blues, because obviously green and blue are sky and ground, right? Trees and stuff. And then I try not to put like lots of yellows and warm colors in. I kind of like a cooler look to my profile feed. And yeah, simplicity. I post a lot with lots of big space so that it kind of helps clean up that feed. So because you are an artist, you're a photographer, when someone comes to your page, they need to be attracted to it, like as a, they need to see that it looks good. People are not naturally maybe that artistic, but they know what's ugly and they know what looks good. So they're not going to follow someone if their feed looks ugly.
Right. So when you say, you have to look at things like 3, 6, and 9. So are you uploading like these top 3 photos at a time, or are you taking into consideration like what happened down here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I try to make it simple, and the top 3 maybe don't apply to that rule as well. It goes like light, dark, light, dark. So if I'm doing something that's lighter, like that open sign, or like this one with that orangey dress, then I'm going to do it like a darker image next, and then try to do a lighter image. So that's kind of like a rule I try to follow. Also, I use the Planoly app. I know a lot of photographers use that. The cool thing about Planoly is you can plop everything in and then rearrange everything. Oh, this one looks better here. This one looks better here. And then you can write all of it up, add all of the hashtags, and then actually schedule it out to just go automatically. I try to do that on Mondays because that's like my work day. Just do all of my Instagram for the week. What do I want to push this week? Oh, I want to push elopements this week. So I'm going to put a lot of my elopements in. Okay, what do we want to push this week? Boudoir, whatever, and then anyway, so I just do it on Mondays, plan it all out, and then auto post. I do know that Instagram doesn't like auto post stuff. So if you have the time, you can, put it in yourself. But the way that I got 21,000 followers, everyone's like, how'd you get that 21,000 followers? How'd you do that? And it's honestly, it's so hard. It's so hard. The beginning, before the algorithm, that's when I got most of them. And I had photographed a really big influencer's wedding. She had like 500,000 followers, and I got about 5,000 followers in one day. And that was before the algorithm hit, because if you do that now, you won't get as many followers. Just in general, it's just hard. When Instagram first came out, it was like, I'll follow you. And like when Pinterest happened, pin everything. And then, it's like, and it's almost like it started to slow, and people are like, I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to double tap. It's almost like they have that trend of not giving that love as much. Yeah. And so, but doing giveaways really helps. Connecting with people, that's really what it is. And when I'm at a wedding, I usually say, hey, like, let's follow each other. Like I follow them, or I tell my brides every single time I send out an email, hey, show me some Instagram love, please post an image and then make sure to give me a photo credit. I would love to, be on your Instagram page, kind of a thing. So that kind of a thing helps. Just continuing to like be authentic and real. That's basically what's going to get you those Instagram followers. Yeah.
And I did want to pull this up too. So this is what she was talking about with Planoly. It's spelled Planoly. And there's a lot of similar apps out there. But the question I have, so it does the auto post, because I use Later for auto posting. But this one will auto post. Does it send you a text message? Does it send you a notification?
No, it auto posts it can post for you. Yeah, the auto post. And then it can also manage, and it says manage and reply to your comments. I actually have 3 accounts, Instagram accounts, so I can do all 3 of them at once, through it and stuff. And it's pretty slick. I mean, I don't mind. I like looking at all of the apps. I just like this one because it was really clean and nice. I like the design of it.
I was going to say, it actually aligns with your brand too. Like if you look at some of the colors you use and stuff, I'm like, maybe they were targeting it.
I know, they're like, and you'll like this.
And done. So tell us a little bit about like the actual tools some of the other tools that you use. For example, if you look here on the top of your Instagram, you have this story space. And that's one thing, even like on our Pixel Connection site, that we don't do as well as we could. And we're working on it, where you have like adulting and tips and engagement, poodles, Sigma. Like, how do you make those? Like, what is there a tool or?
Oh, for the little bubbles. So
yes.
Is that what you're asking me about?
Yes.
Or do I do it overall? I'll just tell you everything. Okay, so the little bubbles took me probably a day. And that's the thing, is a lot of this stuff, like, just freaking hard. You gotta work. Like, you can see the elopement one. I haven't made one for that one yet. But I went to college, I have a degree in photography, but I also focused a little bit on graphic design. So I have some Photoshop experience in regards to layers and how to, like, make these little bubbles. And what I did is I purchased the actual, like, a lot of these, that the tips one that has like a calendar with a little pencil on it. And I have a ton of these little things. And I purchased it for like $4 from online. All you have to do is just Google Instagram story highlight graphics. And then you'll see millions of them that pop up. But then there were some, like the Sigma one that I needed to, and Pinners Conference one that I needed to customize myself. So then I just like Googled lens graphic and then like popped it onto like the watercolor splot and then made my own that way. I just wanted it to look nice and consistent. And, I talk about locations and boudoir and, that kind of a thing. And so people can go in and really get to know my personality and how I interact with my brides and with my couples and stuff that way. And because Insta stories only last for 24 hours, right? So then you can highlight them onto your highlight bar here, so that when I need to ask, or if someone sees that I talked about that sparkler exit, oh, well, what lens did Mackenzie say that she used when she does her sparkler exit? Oh, I'll just hit the sparkler exit. What's it called? Yeah. Oh yeah, follow back. What the hell? Just kidding. So they click on the sparkler exit and they'll see the what lens and go through that way. So it's a good reference tool. It's great for my brides or future clients, potential clients. They can see my personality and see my work that way. So, I mean, Instagram is a huge, amazing tool. Instagram TV is awesome too for tutorials. It's great. We'll love it. We'll love it.
Excellent. So let's jump on that. You have the Insta story there for Sigma. So we talked about a couple of your favorite lenses, but let's say you didn't have to hike straight up a mountain. Like, what would a more traditional, like your traditional kit be for like a regular wedding?
Okay. Well, you know what? For a regular wedding, I just bring everything, and that's all of them. So, and I would take the 70 to 200, the 35, 50, 85, 105. And those are all the 1.4 lenses. And that's the thing that I want to make sure that everybody out here knows. You need to buy 1.4 lenses. You need to buy the 1.4 lenses. I'm just to make sure that you know that. Both points fingers at you. Because it is the fastest way to grow your amazing style. And you cannot be a good photographer unless you have 1.4 lenses. That's hands down. It just makes you a better photographer with those 1.4 lenses, period. So sorry, I just had to say that. And the Sigma ones, I mean, are you kidding? The price point, the quality, are you kidding me right now? Like, there's nothing else. Like, why would I buy a Nikon lens or a Sigma or a Canon with thousands of dollars more when you get the amazing quality for, like, I mean, I think people are afraid. They're like, no, I must buy the most expensive. Yeah.
And it's not true. And actually, some of the Sigma lenses, a lot of the Sigma lenses are actually better than native glass. I mean, that's what they focus on. And, I love it when companies can have that single focus. And that's what Sigma has, is they are focused on lenses. They are a lens company. Now they do have the FP cameras and a couple, cameras, but their bread and butter, what they focus on the most is those beautiful lenses, that gorgeous glass. And they do things a little bit different. I mean, they have different focal lengths that you're not used to seing in the native glass. I love that they can focus their research and development. They're not trying to come up with, a new flash technology or, the next, killer line of cameras. They are 100% focused on creating good quality glass, great quality glass. And that's one thing that, I love shooting Sigma for that reason, is because I know it's dependable. I would have no problem shooting a wedding or thinking, that it's going to hold up for me. So again, the quality, durability, top notch.
Yeah,
We did have
I
a
agree.
question in that I want to throw up there as well. What kind of lighting do you use for indoor receptions?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna hate me because I am the laziest photographer ever.
It's working,
And
so I think we're doing something right.
well, here's the thing is like, oh, you're gonna hate me. This is like the worst. This is the worst. And I have interns, I have assistants, and they always ask me this, and I'm like, I'm gonna let you know, like I'm the laziest. And I make okay, 1.4 lenses, number one. Most places are light enough. If it's 2020, we've got these amazing high ISO cameras. So bust up that ISO, get on a 1.4, and you're fine. You're fine. And people are like, "Whoa, what about the back light? What about the front light?" Like, I
Nope.
don't care. I don't care about the back light.
That's the one we're going to use.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm like, that's not what it looked like. I want them to like, and I love, and that's what the style is anyway. It's like that like natural photojournalistic stuff. Like people love that. And most receptions have these beautiful twinkle lights. You know, that is yummy. Blurry in the background. Are you kidding me? That's gorgeous. I mean, with the dancing, I usually pop my flash on. I do have a flash. Give me a break, mail. Okay. So I put my flash on the SB, whatever, Nikon SB9 something. Anyway, and so you put it down. And then I do like a paparazzi style flash, like when the dance is happening. So when you have to stop motion, obviously, right? So I just pop it down, and it's like, yeah, party. And usually I oppose those ones because usually when people dance for real, they're like, ah, ah. So instead, I'm like, okay, so I lift my Z7 up high because you can do that with the flip out screen, and then I have the flash right down them. I'm like, hey, you guys, you're gonna dance at my camera, right? And so they're like, yeah. And so they look great. They've got this nice line, nice skinny neck, and they're like, yes, okay. So I usually like try to get like some dancing shots a little bit better posed. But yeah, I pop my flash for dancing and for the cake cut. And that's really all I do. And maybe the bouquet toss if we're not outside and the sun's not up still. But if I can squeeze the low ISO and throw that 1.4, that's what I'm going to do. Because LAZY, I'm a lazy person. And I just want to get the job done and not carry around a lot of shiz. But I do, when winter weddings, when I need to shoot inside for professional lighting, I have the Dynalight set that I purchased when I was a photography student that still works fine. And it's fine. It's a little heavy. But.
And I wanted to point out, and I know this isn't necessarily a reception photo, but it's a similar reception.
Dude, that was shot with the 35 millimeter. I mean, that's like the worst fluorescent light ever, right? But yeah,
but
that's
if you look at the image, it's still a great image. Just picture this being, you know, an actual reception. I mean, the lighting is good, and I have to ask, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. How many times have your bride say, "Hey, this looks like it has a lot of noise"?
Never.
You get that a lot.
Don't care.
And that's where, you know, and honestly, the cameras are getting so much better at low light. I mean, you can barely tell the grain patterns at all. I mean, look at that. This shows right there, sellable image all day long.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like huge. That's like maybe 2000 or something. But then it's the 35 millimeter. I think I shot at 2.0, and it's bright enough in there. I mean, and then So anyway,
Yep, and that's what she said. You know, she was kind of along that. Yes, thank you. If I use anything, it's just a bounce on camera flash. Absolutely, and that's all you need. Just that little pop of light. And like you said, it gives it a kind of a paparazzi look, which is great for receptions. I mean, that's what they want to look like.
They want to look at party. Yeah.
Right, and I totally agree. And why work hard? I mean, like in that case, like why work too hard is the point that I'm trying to make. If you have beautiful light there.
And guess what? They're never going to blow this up to a 16:20. Never. Like, right? They'll blow it. We'll put it in an album. It'll be this big. It's not. These aren't.
No.
The cake cutting, the throwing. Why am I?
So let's circle back. I mean, we're going all over the place, and it's totally fine. Love it. So let's bring it back to elopements. So when someone reaches out for an elopement, like, are there questions that you ask them to qualify, like that you're the right photographer for them, or like for this elopement, like, are there questions? Is there a vetting process? Is there a meeting that goes into place? Like, tell us, like, walk us through from contact to you standing at the altar with them, like, or whatever you want to call it with them.
Yeah.
What's that process?
Well, okay, so in the past, because when we all start out as photographers, we are just trying to make money, right? We're just trying to pay the bills. And for 10 years, like I was the breadwinner. And so I was just like hustling. And so I was attracting all types of brides, from like the super, I'm on a budget bride to like the I'm coming to Park City big, big wedding, which was weird for me because I was shooting from like $500 awful weddings and then to like giant, huge weddings. Recently, because I and I keep saying this, because I elevated my portfolio by using 1.4 lenses, I've attracted higher paying clients. So part of it, the vetting process is organic, meaning when they see my profile, when they see my page, I don't have my pricing ever listed on my pages. But when they see the professionalism, the images on my portfolio, people that will be like, oh, I have like $1,000 budget. I don't think I can afford her or whatever. Like they naturally don't even email me anymore. So for me, I want to attract that higher paying bride because they put time and effort into their elopements and care about it enough. So when I do have someone say, hey, I just am getting married, just an elopement, I haven't quite figured out what my price point is because it's just a new world right now with all of the coronavirus stuff. I am giving some pretty good discounts because I want people to know that I'm, doing my part to like help the economy, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like the part of that is just organically elevating my portfolio. And then when they do come to me, it's a lot of back and forth. Like, hey, what kind of, they ask me some questions about elopement for pricing, and then I send them my pricing brochure. And then they just I use Honeybook, which I don't know if anyone out there uses Honeybook, but I freaking love it. It does everything for me. It sends out the brochure, makes it look pretty, and all my agreements and payment processing are on that and stuff. So so yeah, see Honeybook, love it. Oh yeah. Why does it say Good Morning Mackenzie spelled wrong? Oh, is that like some random one that has?
Yes, I didn't hack into yours.
Like, what the hell? No, but it's great for like tax and stuff, tax time. It does everything for me. It does all the stuff that's stupid and lame. Yeah, so it does all my hard work. So when they come back to me and say, okay, well, what about like an hour extra? Then I have like that. So it's just basically like the same as any other consultation and talking through that type of thing. I mean, I ask questions about like the location, and if they say something like, well, we'll just do it like kind of in my neighbor's backyard. And then I'm like, okay, well, do you mind sending me a picture of it so I can look at it? And then if it's awful, like, hey, I know a spot around the corner, great parking. We could shoot right here. It would be epic. It would make your images look astounding and amazing. And because we're doing an elopement, it's just maybe 20 people we need to contact with. I've done elopements like in this gorgeous park, and they went there beforehand again, like took pictures that time of day, here. They're like, option A, B, C, D. I'm like, I choose A. And they want to have someone tell them what to do. Like I said, going back, like they just want someone to help them plan their little elopement and what the lighting is. That's the difference with adventure elopements and elopements. They want awesome pictures. It's not just like we want to get married. It's like we want to get married, but we want to look freaking awesome. And that's where you come in, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna help you with that because I know that I can help you with that, right? So that's cool.
A question about the process. You brought up a really good point about, we want epic pictures. Are you seeing, and again, I don't know how your business is set up as far as like if you do print credit, album, but are you seeing less of a sell through for images because like you don't have as many family photos, so like those family members aren't buying those photos? Or is it about the same? Are they maybe looking at larger prints for their home because obviously they're more epic shots, so they can kind of stand on their own? Like what have the sales been as far as like the wedding images?
Yeah. And that is okay. So it's interesting because the culture out here in Utah is they were just born to be cheap. And so from the beginning of my entire photography career 15 years ago, when you were burning CDs, right, with the full resolution images, I was burning CDs, 700 megabytes. I sent, they wanted the full resolution images. Not one person wanted the album. Whenever you ask them, oh, but how much is it without the album? Like if I just don't want the album, and I'm like, good, this is so hard. And I would say like you have to print professionally no matter what. So it's been a little bit of a balance for me to try to figure out how to get people wanting albums and print professionally. I use Pass, which is Pixel. It's kind of like Pixel Set or Pixie Set, whatever those are, and they can automatically print, and it's connected to WHCC, which is my preferred print lab. So that's been awesome for me because that's how I've been able to implement my sales for prints. So when I get their gallery up, I send it out to them, and then it can auto fill like coupon codes to send out to them. And then you can say, hey, send this to your grandma, send this to your mom. And that's where I get them starting to order things, is because they do it on their own. People don't want to I don't know. I guess this is me. I don't want people in my house to try to like talk to people and sell people. I'm just lazy, I guess, whatever. But like that's not the fun part. Are you kidding me? It is not fun to do that. It is not. And I only want fun in my life. So I've decided to do that. So I just send the link out to them, and I do a lot of things with social media. So, through Facebook or Instagram, I kind of go in and like find people, like their mom or whatever, and send them the link. And so because moms and grandmas, that's money right there. And I'm not even kidding. And so I've even had people come up to me like at the wedding, hey, how can I get these pictures? I'm like, give me your email address. And then I'll show you where you can find them.
money.
Yeah. And then you can set your price point on it. So you can give people, like for my friends and family, I give them the at cost pricing, or you can add like double it so that they you get money back that way. You can sell gallery prints and albums and stuff now online. So I just do everything that way. The only albums I offer are through my boudoir pricing. So I do boudoir sessions for Christmas and Valentine's Day. And that's when I actually like say this is included in the price no matter what. So, yeah, but other than that, I just want them to just, do it. Is that okay?
And that's what's great about this is everybody has their, they found their niche, and they've obviously been successful. You're doing really well. And it's just good to provide that different opinions, and not ones were not right and not wrong. It's just, that's what works for you. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. And that's, there's a lot of value that we can provide, to the people that are watching this to see and hear. Like, for example, Marissa, she says, yes, thank you. Like that really resonated with her. Again, no apology, not there. What works for you. And
the thing is, I think it's been kind of like an old man's club for so long that it's like, it's kind of rough as someone coming in and being like, but why can't I do it this way? And that's like, for years I would get like backlash, like, you shouldn't be giving away your full resolution images. I'm like, I'm not. They're paying me like thousands of dollars. Right. And I'm having fun.
Right. We did have a question that came in. So guys, if you have a question, please put it in the chat. We're going to put this question up there. I'm going to go through because we're getting towards the end here. So get your questions in now so that way we can get them answered. Do you worry about them printing off of Instagram, etc.?
Oh my gosh, barf, vomit all over the place. What? What?
Are you worried about them like printing? And
from
Instagram? It's really hard to get those off of Instagram, yeah.
Oh, I mean, like that's kind of hard. You're screenshotting that? What's going on here? Right. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is I give them a pretty hefty like talking to when I give them my full the images, and I talk to them. I say it like 3 times. I talk to them at each session while I'm walking from one location to the next. Like, hey, just so you know, these aren't like your Disneyland vacation pictures. They're like your really expensive wedding pictures. So I'm going to send you to this link. And if you order from my website, it goes straight to my printing lab, and gorgeous images. You'll be guaranteed, like it's calibrated to my monitor. It'll look crisp, look beautiful, right? So you've already invested this much money. Why not? Like, I mean, it's like not even that much more money. So I kind of talk to him like for real. You guys, I'm cheap too. Like, and so, so I talked to them a couple times, and then also like I send a little thing in their USB pack that I give them. Like, hey, this is my print. Make sure to print professionally again. Just want to keep mentioning that so that they kind of get it reiterated into their mind. I've had people like put filters on my pictures, and so that I feel like is one of the most, I want to say, offensive things. Right. Like, what?
That's not how that looks.
goodness, why did you just do that to me? So I feel like I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, you really can't, I don't know. Does anyone know a workaround for that? Like, I don't want to like text them and say like, could you just not?
Right. And I actually have it spelled out, and I have a conversation like, hey, just so you know, like, this is just as much, you know, obviously it's your work, but it's my work too. I want to make sure I ask that you don't change it creatively. And it's actually in my contracts, you know, that I have.
It's in my contract too, but they don't care. Rudest thing.
And it's really just in there, like, for some reason, like if they ever say, oh, I don't like the images or the color or something, and it becomes an issue, like it's in there. But also for that reason, like, I don't want you changing my photos.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. But yeah, that's rough printing off Instagram.
I almost like I'm sitting here thinking like if I were back in the game, I would probably do a video where I did that and showed the quality, how bad it would be if they screenshot.
Oh yeah,
is what an actual nice print looks like, and just I would probably educate my way through that and try to show my brides and even when we sit down, like, hey, like, this is a consideration, like, this is what it looks like if you just print it off of this low res, like Instagram will go in there and make this photo look really bad and downsize it, and this is what it could look like. And
that's a good idea.
So I'm going to go through, and as you guys, if you do have questions, please let me know, but I'm going to go through a few announcement pieces. I want to let you know that we are still open here at the store Monday through Saturday. So on Monday through Friday, it's 10 to 7, and then on Saturday, it's 10 to 5. We are closed on Sundays as of right now, but you can definitely still take advantage of the curbside pickup. So if you want to just pull up outside, blink your lights, it'll look like a really sketchy drug deal, but I promise you it's not. It is a camera deal, and those are the best deals. So let us know if there's anything that we can do for you. We also have free shipping on our website on almost all items. Now, obviously, like a roll of paper, like you don't want to ship that. But most other items, they do have free shipping. So just let us know if there's something that we can do to help. We are here for you guys. Also, our goal is to do this every day at noon. So if there's something that you want covered on these live streams, please don't hesitate. You can absolutely reach out. So last week I put out a video that talked about like what to expect when you come into the store. I wanted to let you know that our facility is disinfected multiple times a day. We wipe down all the surfaces. We have hand sanitizer for you to use. We actually just got another gallon in. Actually, I think it's like a 5-gallon bucket in today to make sure that we have that for you guys. Whenever there is a customer in here, the only time I take this mask off is to talk to you guys on this. And then if a customer walks in, boom, it goes right on. So we are making sure that we are wearing our masks. So we ask that you do the same when you are in the store. Also, we make sure that we put down these little circles throughout the store to give you an idea of 6 feet away. So again, we're trying to do our part to make it a comfortable shopping experience. And at the end of the day, that's our goal. You know, we're not trying to, pick sides on anything. We just want everybody to be comfortable. So if you don't want to come in, we have that. We have that option. If you do want to come in, we just ask that you, again, wash your hands, use the hand sanitizer, stay away, 6 feet apart, and make sure everybody stays happy. I want to let you know that we did put out another episode of the Talking Pixels podcast. In this podcast, we talk all about the business of photography. So this week's, I want to say it was on pricing. So a nice episode about pricing. We don't talk about gear. We don't talk about products and sales and stuff like that. It is all just myself and Justin Gamble talking about the business side of photography and getting your business set up for success and how to turn that hobby into a career. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to social.thepixelconnection.com, or if you hit us up on Instagram, you can see the link in the bio. That'll take you to the podcast as well. So right around the corner is the Pixel Photo Fest. That's August 14th through 16th, 2020. And we have a ton of amazing speakers. So Vanessa Joy, Aaron Anderson, Jeff Carpenter, Isaac Coffey, Jen and Travis, Brian Manier, James Schmelzer, this Mackenzie girl, I don't know her, Melissa. Mackenzie's going to be joining us as well in person, sharing her knowledge. So again, top in the industry, coming here to Cleveland, Ohio. And then if anything does change with that, guys, we're going to let you know. We're not going to leave you hanging at all. We have backup plans in place, but as of right now, we are going full speed ahead. So if you want to save $100, you can use code LUNCHANDLEARN, and that brings your ticket down to $99. Okay, guys, I just want to reiterate. 3 days, August 14th, 15th, and 16th for $99. From the top in the industry, you're not going to find a better conference, a better learning experience, a better just fun, hang out, chill with other photographers conference. I want to let you know that we're also doing our weekly photo contest, and this week's theme is long exposure. So all you have to do is follow us on Instagram at the.pixel.connection, and then just use hashtag #thepixelconnection and hashtag longexpo in order to get your entrance into the contest. And we do announce that winner every Friday during the Friday Focus. So join us on Friday as we announce the winner. I want to let you know that we are still doing 10% off for tether tools. That was awesome for them to extend it. If you don't know anything about tethering, go back about 2 weeks-ish, and you'll see a whole video we talk about tethering with tether tools, and you can learn more about that. But they actually extended this till the end of May, so if you do need something, now's the time to jump on that 10% off. Speaking of sales, we are still, and it looks like that old headshot of you is still floating around the interwebs.
I'm so jealous. I miss my hair.
So you can get $25 off any regularly priced Sigma lens $399 or less, or $50 off any regularly priced Sigma lens $400 or more, and that's going until Friday. So again, if you are looking to pick up that new Sigma lens, that 105, that 14 to 24, I mean, now's the time to do it. And it's not only for the savings, but also because we are working with Sigma to raise money for local food banks. Again, the Cleveland Food Bank is where 5% of your lens purchase is going. If you do need any additional help, we have our virtual one-on-ones where we jump into a session very similar to this one, and we answer any questions that you have. So it could be Lightroom, it could be how to tether, it could be live streaming. I just did a live streaming one not too long ago. Whatever you need, we jump into a session and we go as deep as we can during that time to get you up to speed on whatever it is that you want to learn. So that opportunity is there for you. So what's coming up the rest of the week or the next 7 days-ish? So tomorrow we have Joel Grimes join us about, basically it's not going to be as much of a technical as more of a mindset talk where he shares how he's been able to take his love of, photography, his art, his passion, and turn it into a career. So again, there's a lot of people that are kind of down right now because maybe business wasn't as, they weren't able to keep up with the normal business numbers that they were because of the impact of the COVID-19. He is going to talk about how this is an awesome opportunity for you. So don't want to miss that at all. Friday is going to be the Friday Focus where we talk about the industry news. So again, if there's something you missed, we get into the juicy rumors as well, and we announce our contest winner. So that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. On Memorial Day, I'm pretty sure people are going to be out cooking and hanging out, so I doubt they're going to be tuning in to any live streams. We'll be here at the store if you need anything, but we're not doing a live stream that day. That's the first time, I think, since March I won't be doing a live stream, which is weird to me. But again, we figured everybody would be out cooking or enjoying that time off, so we're not going to do a live stream. It might change, but as of right now, we are not. On Tuesday, Nikon presents landscape. So they're going to be talking all about landscape photography and how you can take your snapshots and turn them into awesome photos. And then on Wednesday, Sigma is back to talk a little bit about cinema gear. So I'm going to jump back over here and see if we have any questions. It looks like we do. So question came in, what's your favorite prompt for posing at weddings? Like, how do you get them to pose?
Well, I always, you always call them like pose candids, right? So you get them in like that, like flattering pose, and then you make them laugh, talk to them. What I usually say is whisper something inappropriate into each other's ears, or I say whisper your favorite vegetable in a sexual way. That's only if I know them really well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good and dirty one. But yeah, just making them laugh. I always talk the whole time. It's not like stiff or stale. So just making sure that you're talking the entire time. And then I always get very good, natural, organic poses from everyone. But yeah. Yep. So
I love it. And that's what I'm the same way. Like I'll have them like, okay, do this, but a lot of times like I'll act it out too. And that kind of makes them laugh and gets them to relax a little bit. Makes them boom, get those awesome shots.
I love it.
Well, great, guys. That is all we have today. If you need absolutely anything from us, please feel free to reach out. Again, the store is open and ready to help you in any way, shape, or form. You can reach us via email, Instagram, Facebook, smoke signals, phone, however works for you. Please let us know, and we'll be sure to help you. I want to thank Sigma as well as Mackenzie. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you have an awesome week. We'll see you.